Ahoy there, Hearthstone fans! I'm Dead Broke Nerd, and I'm really excited to be bringing you guys my first Hearthstone video for the YouTube page. I have been a big Hearthstone fan ever since Whispers of the Old Gods. Through bad metas and good alike, I do really enjoy Hearthstone. Even though I've done a lot of stuff on my Twitch channel on Elder Scrolls Legends, and I love Elder Scrolls Legends to death. I also have this little place in my heart for Hearthstone, and the last set or two have really kind of reignited my joy when it comes to looking at Hearthstone, playing with some fun decks. And so I'm really excited to sort of start bringing an occasional Hearthstone video to you guys. For those of you interested, this is my Resurekt Priest deck, but really it really should be classified as Lady in White, because that's what it's based around. My buddy GibblezandBitz and I have been working on this, and he's kind of my partner in crime when it comes to Hearthstone. He's the one who got me into Hearthstone, and we played through college, and you know, we still bring it out on our phones when we're hanging out and stuff and show each other deck lists. And this is one that him and I kind of worked together on. I told him I'd make a video on it, and I will not be made a liar. So this is the Lady in White deck. And so the premise here is that Lady in White will cast Inner Fire on every minion in your deck when you play it, right? And so Inner Fire, of course, changes the minion's attack to be equal to its health. Okay, I originally made a deck based around Lady in White at one point, like, I don't know, 3 sets ago, and it just wasn't winnable, right? Because there was so much competing for that late game strength with the Death Knights rolling around. I mean, you just could not handle things like Blood Reaver Gul'dan or Shadow Reaper Anduin. There's just too much competing for that late game value, right? And so what has happened, of course, is that with the set rotation, some of those later game tools rotating out, we've had a little more space to handle some of those later game decks. And so this is actually able, if you can find Lady in White in the first half of your deck, you are able to actually just slam big guy after big guy after big guy, right? Because you have all these really high health creatures, Witchwood Grizzly, Damage Stegotron, Convincing Infiltrator, even the Mosh'Ogg Enforcer that can come down at, say, like a 14/14 for 8. That's pretty good. Now, it's not great, when it gets single target removal, polymorph, hex, whatever. But the fact that if you can get it down early enough, you can just keep slamming these bodies, and eventually they tend to run out of removal. But against aggressive decks, you have a lot of tools as well to kind of handle that early game, and then eventually enough healing and guard that you're usually able to switch the board. So you've got Forbidden Words, which I'm absolutely loving as a priest removal tool, because you can, take down a lot of things. Hey, I'll trade out the rest of my Magicka for this turn to get rid of that big scary thing that was played. You can also have some cool plays with like Topsy Turvy, where you can swap their attack and defense, and it might set up the Forbidden Words a little bit better. And then, of course, we have the 1 Shadow Word Pain. We have the 1 Shadow Word Death. We have a Mass Dispel, which really helps with a lot of the Death Rattle things running around. And I've seen a lot of Snip Snaps and, mech things, especially in Paladin. I've seen a lot of people messing with that, which seems fun. And then, of course, the Double Mass Hysteria, because it's an awesome board clear. Really cool card, and actually makes you think about how you want to, heal things or other things to kind of facilitate this a little bit better. So that's kind of the removal, but we also have a good amount of heal with the 2 Divine Hymns, which also serve to pair really nicely with the Northshire Cleric, right? And so the Northshire Cleric, whenever a creature is healed or a minion is healed, draw a card. And so you can set up some situations where you draw 3 cards off of all of your guys getting damaged and getting healed. So that's really cool. Now, you probably are looking at this and saying, okay, DBN, this is basically just an Inner Fire Divine Spirit deck, and it is, right? We have Divine Spirit, we have Inner Fire, we have Topsy Turvy, and these are all set to basically give us big burst from our hand, so that we can, have a 7 health creature, double it again, and swing for like 28, right? That's pretty awesome. That is sort of the win condition, but you can definitely grind out longer games in which, like, maybe you have to use an Inner Fire early to stabilize and survive, right? Well, you can then still grind it out because you've got a lot of guards, or taunts, excuse me. This is Hearthstone. You have a lot of taunts, and you also have a good amount of healing. And you have Catrina Muerte and Mass Resurrection. Yeah, that's right, Mass Resurrection, which can bring them back. You can do things like play Catrina, bring something back. They try to kill Catrina with their resources, and then let's say you brought back a Shadequill, you Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, and then go for the win. So that's kind of how it works. It's flexible. You don't have to. It's not racing to get an Inner Fire combo really early. It's more using that as a finisher. That's nothing new in Priest, but I think that like the Lady in White and using it with so many of these big creatures is really fun. This is not a tier 1 deck. I played it. I went on a pretty good win streak with it at the end of last month, but you know, I haven't been playing Hearthstone in a while. My rank's pretty low. I'm still gonna fight my way up to higher ranks as the months go by, but ultimately, this is a really fun deck, and it's actually really cheap, and that's the last thing I want to mention, guys. Catrina Muerte, Lady in White are 2 legendaries. Those are the only legendaries in the deck, and there are no epics. It's all commons and rares after that, which means that if for some reason you pull Lady in White, you know, if you have Lady in White and you're like, what the heck do I do with this? I'm just starting out, you know, then great, because you can probably put the rest of this deck together. Like I said, it's a lot of cards that you either start with in the base set, or you get as commons and rares. So this is actually a pretty affordable deck. Catrina Muerte is not needed, but it's certainly really fun. I definitely recommend it's worth the slot. If you're teching for aggro, I would add in maybe another Shadow Word Pain. If you're teching more for control, you could look at a second Mass Resurrection. I'm not 100% sold on this, but my buddy GibblezandBitz really likes the second Mass Resurrection for that extra oomph in a grindy game. You could also look at the Archivist Elena, which, oh man, where is that? You could look at that. I don't have it yet. I'm planning on crafting it real soon. But you could get Archivist Elysiana, excuse me, there it is, just for a little bit of grind. This is a pretty typical card that goes into really late game decks. But besides that, guys, this is a really fun deck. I hope you give it a try. I hope you enjoy at least the games that I'm going to record here at the end. If you enjoy it, don't forget to drop a like or even subscribe to the channel, especially if you also like Elder Scrolls Legends, because I guarantee you'll find something you like here. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Much love, and yeah, enjoy these games. We're going to beat face with some big, buffed-up Inner Fire creatures. All right, so I just jumped in a game here. We're playing against a Hunter. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to throw back the Mosh'Ogg Enforcer and the damaged Stegotron. We're going to keep the Shadow Word Pain, because it should hopefully remove some of my opponent's stuff. When you're mulliganing here, it's definitely something where you really want to be careful. You want to find yourself a either an early game removal like the Shadow Word Pain, or you're going to want to find yourself a 4-drop or 5-drop minimum. And even then, you're really hoping for something like, you're really hoping for the Shadequill, or even for Northshire Cleric to just slam down early and absorb things like Spring Paws and stuff like that. So we don't have anything here to play. We're going to pass. We don't mind the Spring Paw. It's just 1 point of damage. We're going to hold this Shadow Word Pain for something a little more scary. You know, there's scarier things to come from Hunter, no doubt. We will heal ourselves in the face and pass. This is pretty typical priest things, man. Heal face, pass. But let's see what my opponent decides to play here on 3. Looks like it's going to be a steady shot. Well, hey, we can keep trading hero powers. I'm good with that. And plays the other links. So we got the Spring Paw and the links. Alright, we got damaged Stegotron in hand. It's not bad to have. It is a taunt, which is nice. It also fills up our grave with other taunts. So what we're going to do here is we will, you know, actually I'm just going to heal and pass. We're going to play down the Convincing Infiltrator next turn. So we're just going to spend that turn passing one more time. Yeah. If you are concerned about the lower end of the deck, aka if you know, I'm playing a pretty greedy version because it's kind of a meme deck, right? It can win games, but it's goofy. But if you're concerned about that and you maybe want to square up some of your earlier matchups, have a creature to play early, consider going with the injured Blade Master. You can cut one of your Witchwood Grizzlies. You can also cut one of your Mosh'Oggs. These guys can clog the hand at times, so I can see going down to 1 copy of this guy might be okay. And then put those injured Blade Masters in. Now, yeah, they'll be a 4/3 for 3, but you can heal them up real easy. And they go pair nicely with the Divine Hymn, as well as the Northshire Clerics when you see them. So we're going to go ahead and put down the Convincing Infiltrator. We're going to pass. So getting down a creature really starts the chain of a lot of you just slam creatures. Like a lot of it's you just slamming the creatures, letting them be guarding. Looks like we got a Venomizer, so that does give us the big indication this is a mech aggro list more than likely. We'll clear it. It will survive, which is the issue. We're probably gonna have to. Oh, it does roll onto the Goblin Bomb, which is cool. But we're probably gonna have to watch out for those things in the future. Next turn is the damaged Stegotron for sure. Here comes a coin. Man, just going all in with these, going all in with this damage to the face. No big deal. We've got the Divine Hand. We just don't want to get bursted too bad. The Mass Dispel is also huge against this matchup. This is exactly the matchup that we have it here for. So we're passing. Divine Hymn goes nicely. If this damaged Stegotron can live, aka if something doesn't go here to merge with the Goblin Bomb, then we are in a great position. That's always the risk against these mech decks, right? Something be able to magnetize onto, a Goblin Bomb. So if you can, you want to make sure that the mechs don't live, and we do. We got a Divine Hymn here, so. Let's go with, I think I want to Shadow Word Pain this, just so the mech's gone like we talked about. We're not going to attack in case that is a freezing trap. We can't afford to lose our guard here. So we're going to go Shadow Word Pain. And then we're going to go Power Word Shield. Yes, we got a Northshire Cleric. This is awesome. We're going to play the Northshire Cleric. We're going to play the Divine Hymn. Heals up to 14. We're in a great spot. We're going to pass. Once again, we're going to wait to run in the Northshire Cleric into this card. If it's a freezing trap, Northshire Cleric's worth playing at 3 at times just because it can give us cards. We're not going to play right into that if we can avoid it. We also don't want to lose our taunt at this point. We're at the part of the game that we're basically going to need to trade hero powers most turns with our opponent. We do have good healing with the Divine Hymn, but our opponent's got us pretty far down, so he's probably just going to use his hero power. So that means most turns we're going to need to devote our hero power to mitigating that. Let's run the... Let's run this in here. Pull the freezing trap. Yep, it'll get bounced. No big deal, but that does help us out considerably. We're going to trade in like so. Do I want to use the Mass Dispel now? I don't think I do. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to take down... I'm going to put down the Mosh'Ogg Enforcer because it gives us another guard. It's pretty big. It stops a single... My opponent only has 1 Venomizer left. And so that will stop the Venomizers from just completely wrecking everything. Next turn, we can draw some good cards with the Northshire Cleric. Unfortunately, we don't have any Inner Fires right now, but that's what we're going to be looking for with card draw, undoubtedly. Now, we will be really concerned if there's like a Venomizer and a missile launcher. Those two together, obviously being able to clear everything on the board, that would be really bad. Can do that with 8 Magicka. We're just going to hope that that's not the play, because we can't really play around that. Ursatron. Looks like it's going to slam down Ziliax. Okay. Makes sense. It's going to give Rush there. Heal for 6. Not like it matters. And our poor Stegotron is going to be damaged again. Poor guy. Okay, so this will put a mech into the hand. So the point here, I think we go ahead and use our Mass Dispel. These are all pretty scary. We'll remove the buffs. We'll stop our opponent from getting any more cards. we can go face. I think and it also cycles us a card. So I think that's the best option. Got ourselves another damaged Stegotron. So we haven't found our... I'm actually going to run this in too. Ooh, do I want to... I do want to remove this stuff. So we're going to do this. It takes our guy precariously low. We haven't found our inner fires and divine spirits and inner fires. Gosh, sorry, that took forever to come out. We're going to go ahead, though, and use our divine hymn. Or do I want to use just the basic heal? Yeah, we're just going to use the divine hymn. And I do want to remove the last guy. Remember we talked about not leaving a mech on board? Well, that was the premise there. We still got another one, so it's not like it's the end of the world that we're using our forbidden words because we've got one left. And I think removing that for the off chance that we're able to put together in a OTK. And he's just going to scoop. Well played indeed. And so that is how this deck can handle these early game mech hunters. You know, the mech hunters take a little while to get going sometimes, and so we were able to contain them and then eventually slam down enough big threats to really shut them down. Our opponent tapped out right as we were about to secure the stabilize and eventually end up hopefully winning with a inner fire. All right, so we're going to hop in another game. I was clicking around, seeing what all was out there. I was interested, actually, after the last Hunter game, of trimming one Mosh'Ogg Enforcer, and what would I try in there, right? I still think that the Injured Blade Master might warrant some interesting testing, but I decided I wanted to try something new. So I took one Mosh'Ogg out, and I decided to try the Night Scale Matriarch. And we're going to see if it shows up this game. It may not, but I did make that change. I want to note that for the video. So we've got the Hench-Clan Shadequill. We've got a Shadowward Pain, a Topsy Turvy, a Forbidden Words. We're going to get rid of Topsy Turvy. I'm going to keep these three. We're against Paladin, which can sometimes be very tough. You know, I think the Mass Dispel and Paladin and Hunter right now really kind of... if it's Secret Paladin, we're not so worried, but if it's like the Death Rattle Paladin, we can struggle against it sometimes if we're not very careful about when we use our removal. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to pass. Nothing to play here. There's a Reinforce, a Silver Hand Recruit's going to come down. We got our Mosh'Ogg Enforcer. Nothing we can really do right now, and this guy's not worth dealing with, so we're just gonna heal his face. There you go, bud. And we'll pass. Let's see what we got. All right, Reinforce number 2 coming down. Arthas is going to kick our butt with all these little dudes. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to play the Hench-Clan Shadequill now. So I want to play this. I want to get it down. Just get a creature down because if my opponent can't deal with it, we can Power Word Shield it. If my opponent can, well, that's probably the entire turn, right? At 4? Okay, Galvanizer. So that means there's definitely mechs. There's definitely mechs in this. We're going to have to be careful. Like I said, not the best matchup. We did see ourselves handle the Mech Hunter last time really good, but I've definitely lost games of this against Mech Hunter as well, so we got to be very careful. We're going to get the heal. We're going to go right. We're going to go into the... Oh, do we want to go into both? Do I want to use this? We're going to kill the Mech because that just makes sense. Kill the Mechs so that they can't play the Fusion's magnetic cards. That's a second Galvanizer. That's not going to be good if there's a lot of mechs in hand. That's a 3-cost Mechano Egg. Okay. So this is going to be the build that runs the Undertaker because it's going to be able to reuse the Robosaurs, reuse the whatever the flying things are. I can't remember. Mechanical Dragon. So we've actually got an interesting choice here, right? We can actually play the Shadowward Pain, and then we can Shadowward Death this. Now, that's really nice in that it removes it. I don't have to deal with this guy anymore. I think we always do this. I think we always do this. It also stops my opponent from playing things that would buff the Mechano Egg, which can sometimes be quite annoying. It is also a mech, so it can be magnetized. So I'm tempted to do that, but we could also go like Topsy Turvy, Shadow Word Death, and then heal our guy, which would work too. I think we want to hold Topsy Turvy for this for this guy potentially attacking. So we'll go ahead and use our Shadow Word Pain, and then we'll use our Shadow Word Death. And then we'll pass. And we'll hope he doesn't have any more eggs in hand, because 2 eggs back to back, that would suck. Especially when they're discounted. It's much better when they cost 5. There's the Mechanical Whelp. Well, that is almost equally frustrating. Okay, we've got a Divine Spirit. So what we can do is we can go ahead and use this here. I can Divine Spirit this guy up to 18, but obviously I could Topsy Turvy and swing. That's not going to be good enough, right? So I think what we do is we just go ahead and use the Divine Spirit. We hope our opponent doesn't have an answer. No, we're gonna go swing in for 4, and we're just gonna pass. What I need here is my opponent to show me something scary, and then I'll mass Hysteria it. So what's this gonna be? Blessing of Kings. Okay. So I see how this is gonna go. And the Replicating Menace is gonna fuse it. Alright, that's actually fine. We play our mass Hysteria. We held our Divine Spirit, which I think we had to do. And we actually could just Forbidden Words this, but I think we just play the Mass Hysteria now. This may not die, because this would have to hit the 5-1. Well, it did hit the 5-1, but it only got hit by one of the 1 attack creatures. Not the end of the world, but it was a tough one. We weren't always going to come out of that one super happy. It's the Annoyo module. And a Glowtron. True Silver. Wow, that's a lot of burst damage we're taking here. But he's almost out of cards. If we can stabilize here, we might be able to come back. that guy's funny. We could go ahead and destroy this creature to destroy that right now. In fact, that really probably makes the most sense. I think we have to do that. We're really getting low here. We're gonna have to make sure no Leroy or something like that. But we've got the Divine Hymn. We've got the Lesser Heal. Oh no, Ysera just slams Ysera. Doesn't even go face there. All right, so we're gonna play the damage Stegotron, and we're gonna have to do that. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, the Ysera slam was not good. Module, okay. And the missile launcher, okay. Yeah, we gotta get rid of this goon. All right, we got the Mosh'Ogg, we got an Inner Fire. I mean, that's always a thing. I gotta be honest, I think the Mass Resurrection's just the way to go. Although, let's see. I mean, Mosh'Ogg's not bad. And Divine Hymn's pretty important. But I think we go for the Mass Resurrection. How many guards have we lost, or taunts have we lost? We've lost We lost the Convincing Infiltrator. I think that's really important. So we're going to go with the Mass Resurrection. That's nice. Okay, cool. Topsy Turvy doesn't help us. Can't clear that. Yeah, we'll just pass. Man, not looking good, especially when we don't find our lady in white. It's rough. Oh no, it's Snip Snap. We're gonna be seeing a lot of this guy, I get the feeling. He's gonna come down, just as copies of himself here. It's a lot of microbots that are gonna get summoned. Oh, and we snipe you, Sarah. That was so good. That was so good. We needed that big time. All right. Oh man, this Northshire Cleric might just save our butts.
Is someone injured?
So we can get 2 cards here. Mass Dispel. Yes. Look at that. Look at that. And we're going to go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and Divine Spirit Inner Fire on my damaged Stegotron. I can Inner Fire this one on a future turn. We got to get this damage while we can. Swing for 16. Swing for another 4. Really close. This has been a heck of a game. Oh my gosh. I'm almost thinking maybe we should put 2 Mass Dispels in, how much we're seeing the Snip Snap. With that being really new. I mean, this is the first day I've played with Snip Snap being in the game now. So, trying to get through, my guy. Trying to get through it. Glowtron's going to fuse. Zilliax would suck. I think that's it. I think we're going to snag it. I think we're going to snag it with that awesome card draw. Oh! We got him! Oh, that was awesome. This deck is not super favored against Death Rattles, and we were able to handle it not once but twice there. Mass Dispel has been clutch. Honestly, I'm thinking maybe a second Mass Dispel might be needed. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the games. I certainly did. There's some really fun stuff in here. This is the Inner Fire Resurekt Priest. So give it a try. It's not very expensive, so if you have the cards, why not give it a try? If you think that you have an improvement or something that you want to change, this deck is not finalized. This is just what I'm working with. So if you have any ideas, feel free to put them in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good one.